If you are a dog trainer who is running Google Ads or is considering running Google Ads for your dog training business, then you are going to get tremendous value from this video because over the last 3 years, I've done nothing but work with dog trainers and helping them make more money from Google Ads. And I see the same mistakes pop up over and over again. And I boiled it down to 6 mistakes. And we're going to go ahead and cover those in this video. And it's very important that you watch this video in full because if you're making just one of these 6 mistakes, then your Google ad campaign is going to suffer. So with that said, let's go ahead and dive into the video. All right, so let's get started with the first mistake. Now, I quickly want to preface by saying that this is not done in any particular order. All of these mistakes can really hurt your campaign, and they're all very important. So let's get started with the first one here, which we have is poor conversion tracking. And this is a very, very common one that I see. And so if you don't know what a conversion refers to the completion of a specific desired action by a user. So for example, a conversion action can be anything from someone viewing a page on your website to clicking a button to submitting a form, to making a phone call, or even just becoming a new client. These are all conversion actions. Your conversion actions act as positive feedback signals for Google Ads to optimize against, helping it learn which audiences, keywords, and placements drive results. So through these conversion actions is how Google Ads learns what's working and what's not. If you don't have conversion tracking set up, you're not going to know what's working, keywords, locations, ad groups. So not only is tracking very important to teach Google what's working and what's not, but also inside of your Google ad account, when you're looking at all the metrics, you're not going to know which keywords are performing or which ad groups are performing or which locations that you're targeting are performing because you're not going to be able to see any conversions inside of your account. So you might have a keyword that's getting you 10 conversions and you might have another keyword that's only gotten you 1 conversion. You're not going to know which keyword that is because you don't have conversion tracking set up in your Google ad account. And sometimes you'll have people who maybe have conversion tracking set up, but the conversion actions that they're optimizing for are not meaningful actions. So if you're tracking low quality conversions like page views, button clicks, calls that are less than 30 seconds, then you're teaching Google to optimize for low quality actions that aren't valuable. So when you're doing your conversion tracking, don't optimize for clicks on a certain page or clicks on a button or for phone calls that are less than 30 seconds. Optimize for more meaningful actions that the lead takes, like a form submission, or a phone call that lasts more than 2 minutes, or when a lead converts to a new client. Go ahead and import that back into Google Ads so Google Ads knows that, hey, this person just became a client. I'm going to go find more people who are like that. As opposed to, hey, this person landed on the contact page. Let me go find more people who also might land on a contact page. It's like landing on a contact page is not valuable at all in comparison to someone who's submitting a form or becoming a new client. And so when you have conversion tracking set up in your Google Ad account, make sure it's meaningful conversion actions. The next mistake we have here is redirecting people to your website. This one is also very, very common and is going to hurt your conversion rates a lot. The internet is a fast-paced environment and people expect to get the information they need quickly with ease of action to get started, which means for you to thrive in this type of environment, you must provide a relevant, frictionless experience for the user. So most websites have too many distractions, too many choices, and too much information. When you take people to your website, there's all this friction that they have to go through, especially if you're taking them to the homepage of your website. Now they have to find the service that they're looking for. What if you offer 6 different services? Now they have to scroll around on your website, try to find the service they're looking for. They have to make multiple clicks and put in extra effort. Chances are, if someone just lands to the homepage of your website, they're going to just back out. So you really should create a standalone landing page that is specifically created for your Google ad campaign and what you're advertising in your campaign. So if you're advertising board and train services, you should have a board and train specific landing page. So when people land there, they instantly see a board and train related headline. And then they see all the information they need to know about the board and train and how to get started. It creates a much more simple path for a visitor to take in order to become a lead. The next mistake we have here is using broad match keywords. Most of you should never use broad match keywords. You should typically only use exact match or phrase match. And even sometimes I would suggest not using phrase match until you start out with exact match and get some consistency there first. The reason is because if you use something like a broad match keyword, you are going to get clicks from so many irrelevant search queries, and it's going to waste a lot of your budget. Now, there is an exception. Broad match keywords can be great for scaling a campaign that's already proven to work well with phrase and exact match. But even then, you can usually just stick to phrase and exact match. So once you have a ton of data in your account with exact and phrase match keywords, and you're ready to put more money into your campaign and start expanding your reach, then maybe you can consider broad match. But even then, usually just going as far as phrase match is enough. So avoid broad match keywords. Don't use them. You're going to waste a ton of ad spend on them. The next mistake we have here is display and search network and presence or interest targeting. So display and search network, I'll just be very blunt here. Like, I have never seen these networks do anything more than burn people's money. These networks attract bottom of the barrel clicks. Again, Google will recommend you add these. Ignore it. They're not looking for your best interest. They're looking for their own. Don't use search network or display network. And I even have a screenshot here. I'll kind of zoom in so you can see what it looks like. Okay, and so when you are creating your Google ad campaign, you'll get something like this that will pop up in the settings of the campaign. Make sure you leave these boxes unchecked. Okay, Google will recommend it. Don't do it. And this one here, presence or interest targeting. So this is a very sneaky one, and it's important that you know this. Okay, so a sneaky but very important setting you must turn off. Google will auto apply this and even recommend it. Ignore this, okay? Let me zoom in again so you can see. So as you're creating your Google ad campaign, you will, once you get to the location targeting side of things, look for this little drop down that says location options. Google will already have this top box checked. You don't want to have this one checked. And the reason is, let me first read it and I'll explain why. So the top box we have here is presence or interest. People regularly in, or who've shown interest in your included locations. And as you can see, Google recommends it. And then down here, we have presence, people in or regularly in your included locations. So if you select this radio button here at the top, Google Ads will target the areas that you want to target, but it will also target people who have shown interest in your targeted location. So for example, if you live in Houston, Texas, and you have someone in Sacramento, California who wants to take a vacation out there. So that person goes online and types in restaurants in Houston or hotels in Houston. Google Ad is going to see that person in Sacramento, California as someone who's interested in Houston, and they're going to show your ads to someone who is halfway across the country. And if you're a local service-based business, like most dog trainers are, then you're not going to want your ad being shown to someone who's halfway across the country. So there's this subtle difference between these two different buttons, but it's very important you choose this one here at the bottom so that you are telling Google only target people who live in this area. Don't target people who are just interested in this area. All right, and we have two more mistakes to cover here. So the next one is only using one ad group. So this one's important. Google wants to give its users the best experience possible, which means surfacing results that are relevant to their search query and its intent. Ad groups let us tailor our headlines, descriptions, and landing pages to match a user's search intent as much as possible. If you only use one ad group for all of your keywords, all of your headlines and your descriptions and landing page, then your ad will be irrelevant for a large portion of the users exposed to it. For example, if someone is typing in board and train near me, we wouldn't want to show up in the search results with a headline that says group classes, because it's totally irrelevant to what they typed in. If you don't separate your ad groups by theme, this is what will happen. So if you stuff all your keywords and you only have one ad and you have a bunch of different headlines and descriptions all in one ad group, then you will have a huge discrepancy between what people are typing in and what is shown to them from your ad. So it's very important. You should separate your ad groups by theme. So if you offer private lessons, group classes, and board and trains, you should have a ad group for each one of those types of training programs so that each ad group has its own specific keywords its own specific headlines and descriptions, and ideally its own specific landing page. The more relevant your ad and landing page is to a user's search query and its meaning, the higher the likelihood they will click and convert. The last one we have here is search term report and negative keywords. So this is a very simple one, but it's highly effective. So what are search terms? Simply put, search terms are what people are typing in that trigger your ad to show in the search results. Negative keywords are the keywords and or phrases that you don't want your ads to show for. So for example, if you are only advertising a board and train program in your dog training business, you wouldn't want your ad to show up for people who are typing in dog daycare near me, right? So what you can do is go to your search terms report in Google Ads. And if you find irrelevant keywords or phrases, you can basically tell Google, hey, add this as a negative keyword or phrase and don't show my ad for someone who is typing in dog daycare near me. This is the most simple and effective action you can take when it comes to managing and optimizing your Google Ads campaign. So to quickly summarize these 6 different mistakes, you have poor conversion tracking. So make sure that you have quality conversions being tracked in your Google Ad account. Super, super important. Redirecting people to your website. You should really create standalone landing pages as opposed to taking people to your website, because your website is just going to have too much information. It's going to have too much distraction and too much irrelevant information, and you'll convert leads better on a standalone landing page that's hyper relevant to the service that you are advertising. And then using broad match keywords. So avoid using broad match keywords. Use exact and phrase match. And again, make sure you have the display and search network unchecked in addition to the presence or interest targeting. If you're only using one ad group, but you have different services you're trying to advertise, break up those ad groups by theme for each service. Search term report and negative keywords. Make sure you're checking your Google Ad account and make sure that you're not showing for any irrelevant keywords. So that is it. Those are the 6 most common mistakes that I see dog trainers making in their Google Ad accounts. I promise, go through this video again. Make sure you're not making any of these mistakes. And if you are, fix them. You will thank me later. Now, if you don't want to touch your Google Ad account and you want a professional to look at it like myself, go ahead and click the link in the description below. Just be aware it will take you to a video of me pitching our services to you. So if you don't want to be pitched, don't click the link. Either way, I hope you got some value from the video, and I'll see you in the next one.